Hello everyone, welcome to our HTML and CSS tutorial course for beginners. If you're joining us for the first time, I highly recommend you pause this video and go watch our lesson 1 intro video. Alright, there should be a link in the description area that could send you there and watch the first intro video. It has very important instructions in there that you should follow if you want to follow along with me as I go deeper and deeper into this course. All right, if you've already done that, just check the description area and look for where it says lesson link and click on that way you should be able to see exactly what I'm seeing over here and follow along with me. All right, so in the previous lesson we did look at ordered lists. We also looked at unordered lists. I believe we checked on we looked at line breaks and I believe styling text as well. All right. In this lesson, we're gonna be looking at how we add images to our website. All right. If you look at this website over here, this is a website I built for a retail store, in the Columbus area, and it has quite a lot of images. All right. You can see right over here. It's got all these images in there, and then also it has videos too right over here. All right, so we're gonna learn how to add images and videos to website because those are some of the most important content or very common content you see on a website. All right, so let's go ahead and read right here on the left hand side. All right, it says here all of the elements you've learned about so far, headings, paragraphs, lists, and spans, share one thing in common. They are composed entirely of text. What if you want to add content to your web page that isn't composed of text like images? All right. The img tag allows you to add an image to a web page. Most elements require both opening and closing tags, but the img tag is a self-closing tag. All right. Note that the end of the img tag has a forward slash. Self-closing tags may include or omit the final slash. Both will render properly. Okay, so this is a sample of the image tag that allows us to add image to the website. All right, it is a self-closing tag, meaning it doesn't have an opening section like the other ones, like the body element and strong elements that we've seen. It is just one, and then it has that forward leaning slash at the end to indicate the end of it. Okay, so it's saying here that you can add or omit the forward leaning slash, all right, and the browser will still render the content. Like I said before, many current or most of the popular browsers today are very forgiving. All right, so they just let you do certain things, as long as it's okay with them, you can do it. So you don't have to add the forward leaning slash, but I would just put it in there, anyways. Okay, so here it says the img tag has a required attribute called src. The src attribute must be set to the image source or the location of the image. In this case, the value of src must be the uniform resource locator, which is the URL of the image. A URL is the web address or local address where a file is stored. Okay, so inside of this image tag right here, there is something called src. I think is a short form for source. Okay, so what it does is it allows you to locate where the image is currently stored on the server so that it can display. Okay, looking at this this website, for example, okay, you can see that it has different images. Okay, all these images are being stored somewhere. Okay, they are all hosted somewhere or sitting somewhere. Okay, so if you want to display this image on your website, you need to use that SRC to pull out the exact URL location where that image is being stored. So for example, if we wanted to find out the URL address or location of this image here on the right side, we could just right click on it and then click where it says copy image link. All right, you could just do that. And when we go on to maybe another browser, let's say if we go over here and then we paste the link in the browser, okay, it's gonna pull that specific image you see right there. So this one here, it's telling us that this is where you can look at the URL and tell where the image is being stored on the internet. Okay, so anywhere you paste that image, all right, whether it's on Chrome, whether it's on Microsoft Edge, if I post it right here, Microsoft Edge, it will pull that image. Anywhere online, it will pull that image only. Okay, so that's how you can find the image URL of where the image is being stored. Okay, so once you insert that location in here inside of the double quotation right here, this tag will call that image and display it every time the website renders. It will always call it in a matter of seconds, or probably less than a second. All right, so this allows us to pull images from different areas. Okay, so let's say this image is stored on the same server where all the other content of your website is stored, right? If let's say we have a server, let's say our server is in the United States, right? And then we want to add another image from a different server that is stored somewhere in Canada, right? So all we got to do is to pull the address from where it is. It's just a simple address of that image, and make sure we insert that in that double quotation, and then it will call that image to our website. So the user or the visitor to the website does not know where these images are being sourced from, or where their addresses or their location are. All that users see is a beautiful looking website, and they feel that everything, is on your server. So that's the beauty of the image tag. It allows us to dynamically pull images from different areas and bring them together, or use the same image that we have. If we have images on the same server that we're using, we can also call those images using the image source. All right, so we're gonna do some instructional stuff here. It says under the media H2 heading, I believe that's all the way at the bottom. Okay, so under the media H2 heading, that will be right underneath here, add an image. Use the following URL as your source image. All right, so remember, to add an image, we have to add this right here, img, and we need src equal double quotation. All right, and then you can do the // and close it right here, and then inside of this quotation, we're gonna add this URL. So this is the URL that calls that image. This URL shows the address where that picture is stored, okay, on the internet. All right, so we got to put that link right inside of the quotation, and then once we hit run and we check right here, the image is pulled from that source. Okay, it's showing right here. Okay, so that's how easy it is to add an image to your website. All right, let's go on to the next part here. We're gonna look at the image outs. Okay, so it says part of Being an exceptional web developer is making your site accessible to users of all backgrounds. In order to make the web more inclusive, we need to consider what happens when assistive technologies such as screen readers come across image tags. The alt tag, or I should say, the alt attribute, which means alternative text, brings meaning to the images of our sites. The alt attribute can be added to the image tag just like the source attribute. The value of alt should be a description of the image. All right, so we can see right here that we've got the again the image tag, we got the source, and it has nothing in there as of now, but then we added a new attribute called the alt attribute. Okay, and what it does is it's a simple text that describes what the image is. The reason for this is that as of now, most browsers, most SEO bots that crawl our website, they don't know or understand what a specific image is all about. They know it's a picture, right? An image, but they don't know what the image is. So a good way to explain the image is to add an alt attribute here and then just simply describe what the image is. Okay, it says the alt attribute also serves the following purposes. If an image fails to load on a web page, a user can mouse over the area originally intended for the image and read a brief description of the image. This is made possible by the description you provide in the alt attribute. Okay, and then here we have visually impaired users often browse the web with the aid of screen reading software. When you include alt attribute, the screen reading software can read the image description out loud to the visually impaired user. Okay, so that's also very important. All right, when you're building websites, you have to think very holistically. All right, there are different people that may need to access this website, different groups of people. Some of them may be visually impaired and they are depending on different attributes of the website to be able to understand the content. Okay, one of the areas where they rely on is the alt attribute, so try to add that part to your images. All right, and then this last one here is also important. The alt attribute also plays a role in search engine optimization, which is SEO, because search engines cannot see the images on websites as they crawl the internet. Having description alt attributes can improve the ranking of your site. Okay, so that's it. Just reiterate what I just said, that occasionally, almost every week or every month or every 2 weeks, search engines will send out bots to crawl your website. When they come to your website, it's helpful if you help those bots find it a lot easier to read your website. Okay, so if you have images, you want to explain to them, hey, this image is about a lady sitting at the cafe having a cup of coffee, right? Or this image is about a dog swimming, all right, something like that. It makes it easy for these search engines to understand your website. That way they can rank your website better. All right, and then as you can see, it has a lot of different useful things, to it. So the alt attribute is pretty important here. All right, it says here, if an image on the website is not one that conveys any meaningful information to a user, visually impaired or otherwise, the alt attribute should be left empty. All right, so in some instances, if you feel you don't need to describe the image, you may leave it empty, but it's recommended that you fill out the alt attribute. Okay, so over here we're going to do this exercise right here. It says add an alt attribute to the image and include a description. Make sure the description accurately describes the image. All right, so we did add an image here, and we're going to add an alt attribute. We're just going to put that right in here, equal to. And if we look at this image, is the image of looks like a brown bear. So we could say this is an image of a brown bear. Okay, like that, and then we can hit run, and it looks good. So there we go. So we've just added the alt attribute to the image, and this alt attribute is describing what this image is about. So when the search engines come in here and they start crawling our website, or maybe visually impaired people that need to read the content, at least we know we've been able to describe the image, and it makes it easy to go through our website. All right, the next one we're gonna be looking at here is videos. Okay, videos are also super important. You see them almost every website has videos in it, so we got to be able to add videos also to our websites. Okay, here it says in addition to images, HTML also supports displaying videos. Like the image element, the video element requires a source attribute with a link to the video source. Unlike the image element, however, the video element requires an opening and closing tag. Okay, so pay attention right here. It's telling us right here that and the video element tag is a little bit different because that requires opening and closing. You can see that right over here. Okay, and then it says in this example, looking at this one right here, the video source src is myvideo.mp4. okay, so this is also calling the video from where it's currently located on the internet, or whichever server, wherever it's sitting, this URL will call that video. All right, the source can be a video file that is hosted alongside your web page, or a URL that points to a video file hosted on another web page. All right, after the source attribute, the width and height attributes are used to set the size of the video displayed in the browser. So we also need often we need the width and the height to set the size of the image so it can display properly on our website. Okay, almost all the time we need that. All right, so those attributes are used to set the size of the video displayed in the browser. The controls, those are kind of like optional, but let's read here. It says the control attribute instructs the browser to include basic video controls such as pausing and playing. So sometimes you may need to add a control. It depends on what use case or what website it is. Sometimes you can decide to hide the controls. All right, it all depends on what the website is. The text video not supported, we see that right over here. Between the opening and the closing video tags will only be displayed if the browser is unable to load the video. All right, so guys, you can see the video tag has quite a lot of things going on in there, but it's not that complicated. Right, so let's see if we can also add a video to our website over here. Okay, so here under the instruction says under the image, which is right over here, under the image, create a video tag and add the following video URL to the source. So if we look at our video tag here, we're gonna start off with video, and then we're gonna start off here, or maybe we can just close it here. All right, video opening, and then we're gonna close this one right here. All right, now inside of it, we want to add the source of the video which will be equal to double quotation, and then we want to pull out this source right here. Okay, we want to copy this one right here, copy that, and place that right inside the double quotation. Okay, and we're not quite done yet. Be sure to create a closing tag as well with the video. Okay, so I did create a closing tag. I'm gonna hit run, and that looks good. Alright, so we have added the video, but we're not done yet. We still have a few more instructions. As you can see right here, this is the video, right? But it doesn't look that great. Okay, if you look at it in the landscape view, you can see it doesn't really look great, so we got to make it look a little better. Alright, so here it says define the width of the video as 320 and the height as 240. Make sure to include the control. So we got 320 for height, or 320 for width, and 240 for height. All right, so over here we're gonna add the width, $320, and then we're gonna add the height, $240. All right, and then I believe it says we need to add controls as well. Okay, and then let me go ahead and hit run, and that looks good. And then it says in between the opening and closing video tags, add the phrase video not supported, which will be displayed if the browser is unable to load your video. Okay, so it's saying in between the opening and close, so that would be somewhere in here. We want to add video not supported. Okay, so this text right here is saying that just in case the browser does not support that video type, in case it doesn't support the MP4 video type, this text will auto display, or this text will be some kind of a fallback text, okay, for the visitor of the website or the website user to see. Let me hit run over here, and there we go. Okay, so let's see how our video looks now. I'm gonna go over here, and now we have our video displaying over here. As you can see, we've already set the height and the height and the width of it, and we also added the controls as well. So when we click right here, you see the video is playing now. All right, and see the video playing now. Okay, we can also view it in a landscape view like that. All right, and we can click right here and we see our video is playing. Okay, there we go. All right, now if you take off the controls, like right over here, if we remove the controls, okay, and we hit run, okay, you will see that the controls are missing on right here on the video. Add controls right in here, controls. All right, and then hit run, and there we go. We got our video playing again. Okay, so guys, one thing I need to mention before we move on is that some of these tags, you know, although they look simple, it could be a little bit challenging to memorize all of them. All right, now as a coder, it's okay to look up some of these things online, and you're going to be doing this as we go. There are dictionaries where you can access, and later on I'll show you how you can do that. Okay, Google is available. Google is sort of like a dictionary where if you forget any specific HTML element, you can just Google it and it will pull it right up, and then you can copy and use that element. Okay, now as a beginner, I highly recommend you write it out and practice first. Okay, but those dictionaries are available for you to, in case you forget how a specific element is, or if you forget an image element or a video element, you can look it up online and you can get access to it and see how it's written so you can use it. All right, it's okay for coders to look things up online. Okay, it's not a bad thing. Okay, it's all part of the learning process. So later on in this course, we're gonna, I'll show you how you can look things up, the best places to find coding information that can help you get better. Okay, so I think at this point here, we will be doing a review of what we have learned so far. Okay, so we did learn about HTML, hypertext markup language. We did cover opening and closing elements, element structure. We looked at the body elements, the H1 titles all the way to H6. We looked at divs and spans. We looked at EM and strong tags. We did look at the break tags. We looked at the lists, unordered and ordered lists, and then we've also looked at the image and video tags. Now after this, there will likely be a quiz after this. Now I'm not gonna cover the quiz. I'm gonna leave the quiz to you. That way, you can take time and take the quiz just to test your knowledge about what you've learned so far. If you make any error in the quiz will auto correct you. That way you can learn. Okay, so we will not be doing the quizzes in this course. I will leave the quiz for you as your homework assignment. All right, and then use that also to help polish your skills in coding. All right, so we have completed this part. There will be another some more lessons coming up, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.